Alright, so we've got the engine light. We're going to check out what is up. Can you see that? Let's see if I remember how to do this. Change vehicle. Domestic Chrysler truck, 2002 Dodge Dakota 3.9 and auto federal and keep required, press it and continue, and we want to look at codes. Codes. Turn the ignition key on, engine can be off or running. I'm going to press enter to continue. So we're looking at P0158, which is the O2 sensor 2 of 2. But then there's a second code. It's also number 2 of 2, heater check. So we'll have to figure out what it means when you're getting both, but I'm assuming that it just means that it's bad, but we'll see if we can figure out what that code means, what those codes together mean. Alright, well the first thing I want to do is try and give you an idea of how to locate this sensor. In my case, I need to replace the right hand side downstream sensor, which is after the mini cat, the smaller catalytic converter that comes off the downpipe. So I'm going to show you where that is. I got this lifted up because it is a bit of a pain in the butt to get in and under there. Having a little extra arm room by having it lifted up really helped. So just want to show you where it is. So we'll crawl under here. See if we can get a good look at this. So you'll see right here is the catalytic converter. And then if you go up the pipe, you'll see that further up the pipe is the smaller catalytic converter right there. And you'll see the hole that, because I've taken out the downside of the downside O2 sensor right there. I've already taken it out. And you can see up a little bit further is the upside. And then if we come over to the driver's side, you're going to see the same thing on the downpipe. Let me see if I can see that. Right there is the small catalytic converter, the downside, and then if you look up further on the top of it, you can also see the upside. the upstream side, the downstream side on the driver's side. This side, again, we'll just take another quick look. The downstream side, which I have out, and the upstream side. Oops. So, now the second thing that's really tough about this job is getting the connector out. And let's see if I can show you where the connector actually goes. If you can see that right there, right up here. Move the light away from it, but there it is. That is somewhat of a pain in the butt to get to, and I want to show you why here in a second. I want to show you. I'll show you the sensor we took out, and I'll show you why that's a bit of a pain in the butt. Alright, so here is the O2 sensor out of the vehicle. Now you're going to see that this one is battered up because to get it out, it ended up breaking before we could get it out, and I'm going to show you why that's so difficult. If you can get a close-up shot of this piece, this is the clip. Can you see that? Mm-hmm. And then if you can see right there, the bar inside this piece broke out so that the clip actually came out, came off. Normally the clip sits here like this. You'll see there's a hole in the back of the clip. See that? And then this clip goes on there like that, and that bar slides in. And this, so when you're first going to take this out, you got to make sure you pull this clip away so that it pops back like that. And then this bar, which is broken off here, which goes under this hole right here. When you pull the clip back, it allows you to press this button down, which releases the clip from the connector up underneath the vehicle. So you can see from this side, when I press on that button, this comes down to unclip off of that clip, and that's what makes this such a hard time coming out. You basically got to get up under there and press down on this button so that it pops off the male connector that's up underneath the vehicle. There. So that, again, that's why that's so hard to come off. And then you can compare that to the new piece. New piece is exactly the same. So that if you're, in my case, this clip is broken now, but if you put the clip back on, that clip would end up going in there like that. So
the new part didn't come with
a clip,
red clip.
Makes you wonder why. Makes you wonder if it's even necessary. The other thing too is I wonder if ours hadn't broken, if this clip would eventually have come out completely so that you could take it and move it off to the other side, move it off to the new one. But that you'll just have to decide for yourself. But when you put this back in, it should clip into place whether this clip is there or not. So hopefully we'll show you that next. One more thing is you'll notice these parts look almost identical. But if you go to your parts store, you may, this part is an NTK. You may have the option of buying a Bosch part, but I've heard some bad things about the Bosch parts. And I've said in some of my other videos that Dodges are always very sensitive about the sensors that they use. I always try and get Mopar parts. Unfortunately, Mopar wasn't available for today. I wanted to make sure I got this job done today. So, but after looking on the internet, I did notice that the NTK part is actually one of the OEM manufacturers. So this is essentially the OEM part. I would highly recommend going with the NTK versus the Bosch because everybody reports that they're problematic. So, and it's obvious when you look at the Bosch part. The Bosch part looks completely different. It doesn't look exactly like this one does. I mean, these two parts almost look identical.
And most notably, the holes in the probe and are not there. on,
Yeah.
on the Bosch part.
So that's my recommendation, is to go with the NTK. Alright, I wanted to get under here and show you, here it is with the new sensor back in place from underneath, from directly underneath. We're going to go ahead and I put it in finger tight, and then from there what the instructions say is to basically turn it a half a turn to 3/4 of a turn to tighten it up, or you could use your, if you can get it in there, your O2 sensor socket and tighten it to the appropriate torque spec, which I believe is somewhere between 22 and 30 pounds, but you'll need to verify that with your service manual. So we're going to go ahead and do that next. Okay, so now that we got that tightened up, you can see it from the back angle again. Got it in there, and there we have to reach up to get to the male connector, which is, let me see if I can get that in focus for you, which is way up there. It goes up above the transmission. See if I can do this for you. Whoop. So that's going to go right up in there like that. So we'll do that next. Okay, so now I got the connector connected, and I also put a tie strap on there just so that the line's a little bit longer, and I want to just make sure it doesn't come falling down and touch the exhaust. So I just put a loose tie strap up there just so that it wouldn't fall down. Let me see if I can do some night vision there to see if you can see it a little bit closer. It's hard to get that in focus, but you can see. And when you do put the connector in, it makes a nice satisfying pop. It clicks into place, and so that you know that you're made a positive stop. So there you go, and then we'll bring it down and see if we can get that code to clear.